welcome to your Tuesday, March 25, 2025 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. U.S. aims to ensure Guyana's security for oil production amid a border controversy with Venezuela. Guyana and Panama agree to eliminate rescreening of passengers at airports. Contractor ordered to increase labor to fast-track works on Linden-MABURA Hill Road. 4 rescued from burning building at Vreed-en-Hoop, and missing coconut vendor found dead in canal at BEEHIVE. Now for the news in detail. U.S. Special Envoy for Latin America Mauricio Claver-Carón has said that Washington wants to make sure that Guyana has the security necessary amid a territorial controversy with neighboring Venezuela. This, he said, will be one of the main areas for discussion when Secretary of State Marco Rubio visits later this week. Trishel Sobers reports.
United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio will travel to Guyana this week as part of a 3-nation tour to the Caribbean. Among other things, Rubio will discuss energy security in the region, illegal immigration, and dismantling of transnational criminal networks. Speaking at a recent briefing, U.S. Special Envoy for Latin America, Mauricio Claver-Carón, told reporters that the issue with Cuban medical workers will also be addressed. Washington has threatened to halt visas for government officials in countries that receive Cuban doctors, whom it says are being exploited. In response, many Caribbean leaders, including Guyana's President Dr. Irfaan Ali, have said that they adhere to labor standards and that the medical services Cubans provide are essential. On energy, Claver-Carón also signaled Washington would support oil production in Guyana and Suriname, and that it wanted to, quote, make sure that Guyana has the security necessary, end quote, amid the border controversy with the neighboring Venezuela. In fact, he said that this area will be a major area of focus for conversation during Rubio's visit. On March 1, Venezuela sent a naval vessel into Guyana's exclusive economic zone EZZ, where U.S. oil major ExxonMobil is operating. The persons on board the Venezuelan ship communicated threateningly to the crew on board ExxonMobil's FPOs. Guyana has since alerted the international community and World Court of this latest action of aggression from Venezuela. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump on Monday issued an executive order declaring that any country buying oil or gas from Venezuela, which has historically exported its oil across the Caribbean, will pay a 20% tariff on trade with the U.S. According to Rubio, there will be no tolerance from the U.S. for any third countries or their oil companies producing, extracting, or exporting oil and oil-related products with the Maduro regime in Venezuela. Rubio stated, quote, "This is a regime that has consistently stolen elections, pillaged from its people, and colluded with our enemies. Any country that allows its companies to produce, extract, or export from Venezuela will be subject to new tariffs, and any company will be subject to sanctions," end quote. Rubio's visit to Guyana would mark the third by a U.S. Secretary of State in less than 5 years under the current People's Progressive Party civic government. Former Secretaries of State Mike Pompeo and Antony Blinken previously visited Guyana, during which they engaged in discussions with the Ali administration as well as other local stakeholders. Trishel Sobers, Evening News.
The governments of Guyana and Panama have reached an agreement to eliminate the requirement for rescreening of passengers traveling between the two countries. This landmark decision comes after a delegation of 3 representatives from the Republic of Panama Civil Aviation Authority conducted a comprehensive aviation security assessment at the Chedijagan International Airport in Guyana. The primary objective of this assessment was to determine whether the airport security procedures at CJIA airline security protocols implemented by Copa Airlines and aviation security measures and oversight by the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority are comparable to those established in Panama. The assessment team meticulously evaluated various critical areas, including passenger and carry-on baggage screening, access control measures for individuals and vehicles, hold baggage screening, aircraft security, onboard security, and security measures at the terminal and boarding gates. The Tocumen International Airport, Panama, is often referred to as the hub of the Americas for air travel taking place within the Latin and South American regions, particularly for Copa Airlines, with connecting routes to North, Central, and South America, as well as some European cities. Copa has been operating scheduled flights from Panama to Guyana for more than 10 years, since July 2014. Meanwhile, this move will eliminate the requirement for transfer passengers and their checked baggage originating from Guyana to undergo rescreening at Panama International Airport after initial screening at CJIA and vice versa. The agreement is expected to be finalized with the submission of a comprehensive assessment report to Guyana, accompanied by a letter of commitment acknowledging Guyana's participation in the arrangement and its obligation to maintain the highest standard of aviation security measures. We now tell you that Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel has criticized the Linden Mayor and Town Council for poor financial management after Mayor Sharma Solomon complained about the central government's decision to make 3 major bridges across the country toll-free. Kelroy Williams has the details.
Linden Mayor Sharma Solomon, in a statement on Monday, said the removal of the tolls from the Wismar Bridge will present significant financial challenges for the Town Council. He claims that the township generates approximately $6 million per month from the bridge tolls. Solomon says his budget shortfall will impact a number of projects in the municipality, including giving workers an increase in their salaries. Contacted for a comment on the Linden's mayor's statement, Minister Edgel accused him of trying to stymie development.
It is clear that the mayor of Linden and his political handlers would like to continue to pass on hardships to the people of Linden and the people of Guyana. The government is busy relieving people of hardships, bringing cost of living down. If he's opposed to the removal of tolls, is that he would like to pass on hardships to the people of Guyana.
He also rebutted the mayor's contentions that the removal of the bridge tolls will significantly impact the finances of the Town Council. According to Edgel, the fare to cross the bridge is as low as $60 for some categories of vehicles. In fact, Edgel said the council is earning more money from tolls at the Caracara checkpoint, but there is nothing to show on how these funds are being spent.
The mayor of Linden should tell you how much money is being collected from the truck toll at the Caracara booth and what that money has been used for. The toll to cross the Wismar Bridge is $40 and so on per car. If it's $8,000 and $10,000 and $6,000 for a toll at the Caracara checkpoint. What is the money being used for, and why is he complaining?
President Dr. Efren Ali on Sunday announced that effective from August 1, 2025, it will be toll-free to cross the Demerara Harbor Bridge, the Barbies Bridge, and the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge in Linden. In explaining the move last year, the president noted that the government is looking to ease the burden on citizens while also enhancing the transportation network and improving competitiveness through the efficient movement of goods and services across the country. Kelroy Williams, The Evening News.
As the works on the Linden-MABURA Hill Road continue to face delays, Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel has ordered the contractor to increase its workforce so that the project can be completed in about 7 months. Find out more in this Gerald Bryan report.
In an interview with this newscast on Tuesday, Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel was asked about the Linden-MABURA Hill Road. The US $190 million project is being executed by Brazilian firm Construtora Quiron Galveo SA, and it was announced in January that the road would now be completed in October 2025. Edgel admitted that he was not satisfied with the pace of works and noted that the contractor had been told to bring on more teams of workers.
My understanding is that the contractor has been told to engage more teams to get the work moving faster, because they have a contract that is of some and also to be executed within a particular time.
Works on the Linden-to-Mabura Hill Road started in 2022, but there were delays after the contractor halted works between June and August 2024 due to procurement challenges. The project is being co-financed by the Caribbean Development Bank, the United Kingdom, and Guyana. Meanwhile, EDGE also provided an update, this time on the Wismar-Mackenzie Bridge. This project, which is being constructed by China Railway Construction Corporation and has an end date of April 2026, is 36% completed. Jarrell O'Brien, The Evening News.
Coming up, Health Ministry launches Patient Care Assistant Training Program in Berbice, and mammogram machines launched at New Amsterdam, Suddy, and Linden to expand healthcare access beyond Georgetown. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
In today's tough driving conditions, every engine faces three powerful enemies: engine heat, pollutants, and frequent short trips. Each factor is a direct cause of engine sludge, a buildup of dirt that can block vital oilways. This triple threat demands triple protection. Castrol GTX's Triple Protect Power is engineered to fight these three main causes of engine sludge.
When it comes to power tools, you know very well that Sylvie's Variety Store is your household name in that department. Among the very best in US and European craftsmanship and technology comes the rigid line of DeWalt and Black & Decker power tools. No job is ever too difficult for our collection, including the cordless line for much convenience. So when buying a quality brand like DeWalt or Black & Decker, check Sylvie's Variety Store on High and Hadfield Streets, Georgetown.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The body of a 43-year-old man who has been missing for a few days was this morning pulled from a trench at Beehive, East Coast, Demerara. Dead is Ramesh Ramkumar, a well-known coconut vendor of Lot 68 Beehive Public Road, East Coast, Demerara. According to reports from his sister, Karishma Ramkumar, the man lived with his mother and had no known conflicts, mental health issues, or a history of alcoholism. According to Karishma, her brother was last seen alive by his mother at their home on Sunday at around 19 hours. She said her mother had briefly stepped away to use the washroom, and when she returned, her brother was gone. At the time, her brother was clad in a black t-shirt and blue jeans. Hours passed, and as concerns grew, the family launched an extensive search throughout the community. Despite their efforts and social media appeals, there was no sign of him. Then, early this morning, the family received a devastating call. A body had been found floating in a canal in Beehive. Rushing to the scene, they confirmed the worst. It was the coconut vendor. The dead man's sister said that though his body was intact, it bore injuries to the stomach and back, as well as bruising and bleeding on his arm. She said his face was swollen, raising further suspicions about the circumstances surrounding his death. The family is now anxiously awaiting the results of a post-mortem examination and police investigation to determine the cause of death. We now tell you that 4 persons were this morning successfully evacuated from a burning building at Vreed-en-Hoop New Road. Here's more from Michael Henry.
At approximately 2 hours 30 on Tuesday morning, a fire consumed ABC Chinese restaurant located at New Road, Vreed-en-Hoop. At the time of the fire, 4 persons were in the building. 3 women at the top of the building and 1 Chinese businessman at the bottom of the building.
The fire completely gutted the 2-story structure. Luckily, however, there were no major injuries or fatalities. The Guyana Fire Service initially reported that it had rescued 1 individual and was searching for 3 others who may have been trapped in the building. But the Evening News was informed that all 4 persons were successfully evacuated. A neighbor, 72-year-old Jaidev Didnoth, told this newscast that people were gathered at the nearby bar when they suddenly noticed thick smoke emanating from the Chinese restaurant and apartment building. Upon investigating, they discovered that the ABC restaurant located directly opposite the bar was engulfed in flames. The origin of the fire is currently unknown. At the time the fire broke out, the eyewitness explained that when the fire services were contacted, the ambulance arrived before the fire trucks and successfully rescued the 3 women who were trapped on the upper floor of the building. Despite this, one of the women was allegedly injured. Meanwhile, the Chinese businessman who occupied the lower floor of the building was completely unaware of the fire. The fire services arrived equipped with tools to cut through the bars on the windows to rescue him from the dangerous situation. Swiftly, the fire was calmed and the Chinese businessman was rescued out the building. Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben was on the site overseeing the ongoing operations of emergency services as they managed the aftermath of the fire. In the end, the building was completely destroyed, resulting in millions of dollars in losses. I am Michelle Henry, reporting for the Evening News.
In a bid to improve the level of care offered to patients in the public health care sector, the Health Ministry on Sunday expanded its Patient Care Assistant Training Program to Region 6. Kelroy Williams tells us more.
The Patient Care Assistant PCA training program will see participation from more than 200 persons over the next 4 months to support nurses and other medical professionals. The comprehensive program includes theoretical instruction and practical clinical training. It covers basic aspects like patient care, infection prevention, medical ethics, and emergency response. Speaking at the program launch on Sunday, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony stressed the importance of this initiative as the country's health infrastructure continues to expand.
These hospitals that will be opening, there are 75 beds each, inpatient beds, but it differs from previous hospitals because for each of these 75 beds, we have smaller wards or smaller rooms. But when we move to this new standard, we'll need many more people to be interacting with our patients, because now you can't just sit in front and you got everybody in front of you like that. You wouldn't be able to see them. So we'll have to make more checks, we'll have to go in, see what's going on, and so forth, to make sure that people are comfortable. And that is why, one of the reasons why we have started this process of training more people.
Moreover, Dr. Anthony encouraged the program's participants to continue upskilling themselves. In fact, he reveals how the Patient Care Assistant Training Program will open avenues for persons who are interested in climbing the medical ladder.
You would learn some very basic things about how to care for people in a hospital institution. While we start you off there are other courses that you can join so that you can move from a patient care assistant to, let's say, a nursing assistant. And then from a nursing assistant, we want some of you, if not all of you, to become registered nurses, right? So there's an upward trajectory.
Moreover, Dr. Anthony highlighted that the ministry is currently constructing a new training institute that will offer a wide variety of programs.
We have started now the construction of a new training facility. That facility would have a lot of classrooms, it would have simulation labs, and a whole host of things that can assist with teaching persons in the medical profession. Currently, the Ministry of Health, we have about 20 training programs, different things, right? So there are different opportunities that we can offer to people. But most of these programs were based in Georgetown. So a lot of people who might have had a desire to be trained did not have these opportunities. They had to go to Georgetown to get this training.
Kelroy Williams, The Evening News.
In order to expand access to healthcare beyond the capital city of Georgetown, the Ministry of Health has launched mammogram machines at public hospitals in study on the Essequibo Coast and New Amsterdam in Berbice, as well as Linden in Region 10. Here is Kelroy Williams again with the details.
In Guyana, breast cancer is considered the most diagnosed cancer and the second leading cause of death due to cancer in women. In a bid to expand capacity for early detection of breast cancer, the Health Ministry had procured 4 new mammogram machines last year. On Sunday, one of the new machines was commissioned at the New Amsterdam Hospital in Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine. During the handing over ceremony, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony reveals that the Health Ministry over the years has invested heavily towards improving cancer treatment and care for citizens across the country. In fact, the Health Minister noted that in the past, only one mammography machine was operational in the country.
Up to maybe a year ago, we only had one mammography machine in the public system. That machine was at the Georgetown Hospital. And think about all the women who were eligible to do a mammography test having to travel all the way to Georgetown Hospital to get that test done. It was not feasible. They wouldn't be able to do everything for everybody. And therefore, one of the decisions that we made in the government is how can we decentralize this service.
Machines have already been installed at Saudi Hospital in Region 2 and Linden Hospital Complex in Region 10. A similar machine will soon be operational at the Letham Regional Hospital in Region 9. With these machines more readily available countrywide, the Health Minister noticed that the ministry will be encouraging women between the ages of 40 to 65 to conduct regular screening.
We don't want too much of young people, excepting if you know that from your family history that you had someone who died from breast cancer. But other than that, we want to screen routinely people who are 40 years and older. So between 40 and 65, we want to have regular screening. And the Ministry of Health, we have already developed guidelines that we have issued pertaining to pertaining to having mammography.
Mammography is an X-ray imaging method used to examine the breast for early detection of cancer and other breast diseases. It is used as both a diagnostic and screening tool. The state-of-the-art equipment were purchased through a partnership between the Guyana government and the International Atomic Energy Agency. Kelroy Williams, The Evening News.
The former APNO AFC administration used $50 million of taxpayers' money to finance the Buju Banton concert and related activities in Guyana in 2019, the Public Accounts Committee heard on Monday. Details in this Trishelle Sobers report.
In 2019, $50 million from the Guyana Lottery Fund was allocated for the Buju Banton's performance and other expenses related to the Walk to Freedom campaign. These revelations were contained in the Auditor General's report and came up for examination at the Public Accounts Committee on Monday. When questioned by Public Works Minister and PAC member Juan Edgel about the spending on the Walk to Freedom campaign, which took place under the Partnership for National Unity and Alliance for Change APNU-AFC administration, Deputy Accountant General Jennifer Chapman clarified that expenditure approval was handled solely by Cabinet.
Honorable Member Chairman, I think I'm entitled to ask my questions. If the government of Guyana, whether by Cabinet decision or not, pays $50 million to an artist, Buju Banton. I'm a member of the Public Accounts. I'm simply asking, was it a national program or I don't recall this Walk to Freedom program. Could somebody refresh my memory what the Walk to Freedom program was about?
That was during the period when we had a Guyana Carnival activities. But the $50 million was not just for the singer, it was for all other expenses. But it was a total of $50 million we paid. All the payments out of Lotto Fund is issued via a cabinet decision.
In 2020, former People's National Congress Reform PNCR General Secretary Amna Ali had asserted that the Buju Banton concert had been funded by the party. The former APNU-AFC government has previously been red flagged for its use of the Lotto Fund. In his 2015 report, the Auditor General had said that the government used millions from the fund for the building of controversial Durban Park, Georgetown, without parliamentary approval. Meanwhile, at PAC on Monday, questions were raised by Opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal regarding the appointment of a board for the Guyana Lottery Control Commission. Following several lines of questioning, Finance Secretary Sukrishna Pasha reported that the last Guyana Lotteries Committee was appointed in 2017 to serve until 2019. However, there has been no active board in place since then.
My concern is there is no board in place right now. Monies are being spent from the Guyana Lotteries Commission. In the absence of the board, someone or a collective is usurping the authority of the board. And I'm asking, who is that person? Or how many persons are doing that? In order for Cabinet to give its no objection to the spending from this fund, Cabinet has to receive a document, a Cabinet document that has to come from the Commission of itself. I hear, Chair, the question from Member Mahipal, and it is something that we'll reflect on and discuss with our superiors after this meeting.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Delmar Harbor Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Wednesday, March 26, 2025 at 2 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Bobbiesville Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 14 hours 15 on Wednesday, March 26, 2025, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Let's now take a look at the local stock exchange market compliments of GASI. Golden Jags in last dance for Gold Cup qualification tonight, and Beacon Cafe kickstarts Athlete Talent Assist program. These stories and more coming up in this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Hi, I'm Timothy Ramjan, and this is MacCorp Rental. We have the right equipment and generator for your coming project. Call me on 698-8116. MacCorp, let's do the work.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Sun or rain? Up or down? No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but with Premier's commercial property insurance, you'll be ready. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance. Premier Insurance coverage.